Travis Wayne Goodsill. Just reminiscing about sweet little Allison Mack, who was turned into a sex trafficker and racketeer. She pled guilty to racketeering. If you're going, who's Allison Mack? Why should we care? She was on Smallville. I don't know, one of the Superman stuff. And it was the NXIVM, NXIVM. It was a pyramid scam, but they call it a multi-level marketing company. It's a pyramid scam, which in and of itself is illegal. But the guy, I don't have the name of the guy on here immediately, but he was purposely using Mac to recruit other women into his little sex trafficking ring, and sex trafficking conspiracy and forced labor, and pled guilty to racketeering and racketeering conspiracy charges. And it's kind of sad. She's in prison now for 3 years. She gets out in 2024. But racketeering is a type of organized crime in which the perpetrators set up a coercive, fraudulent, extraordinary, or otherwise illegal coordinated scheme to operate a racket to repeatedly or consistently collect a profit. And having been sex trafficked by the LDS Church, I see the patterns. It's exactly the same. And it's not for Nelson to have sex with me or my wives, but he coerces us fraudulently to pay the tithing money, which is their profit, so that we are involved in illegal sexual activity. And then it has to do with the missionary recruitment, as it's recruitment for people to pay money, because the whole concept is a fraud. Jesus created by Constantine, but they're claiming Joseph Smith is the one who had Jesus. And yet you look to the first vision and you go, wait a minute, Joseph Smith is calling the first creed of Christianity an abomination. Well, what is that first creed? We now have Google search, we can do it. You guys won't do it, so I have to then post the pictures, snapshot pictures of it for you. And you still won't believe. Yeah, it's interesting. Mormons will not go to the video that would shut them up. They'd rather go to the video that they're offended with, and they think that they've got me by telling me I'm Korahor or whatever. Lately, over the past 2 days, I'm getting Mormons who are saying, oh, I feel so sorry for you. Oh, how you could be so mean, and oh, you're so angry. I pray for your soul. Yeah, that's still a hate comment. You still need to be reported, because you're accusing me of lying to you, when you guys are the ones who are still staying in the church lying as I used to. That's the whole thing. You guys don't get it because you will not do your research. You will not even look to see if I have other videos. I was born in the covenant, born and raised, and I know all about this stuff. I went on my mission as a multi-level marketer for the church, recruiting others. I only recruited the Rincon family, and so yeah, I now feel bad about that, because they were a newly married couple. They had Seychelle and a baby daughter, and my prayers were the only thing that could put her to sleep. She was so cute and adorable, but yeah, I still feel bad about it, because of his new family they wanted a religion for her to grow up in, and they didn't really care, and they just happened to bump into missionaries, and because it was our district leader who poached them, and Elder Stratford was already pissed with the district leader, Stephen Ames, for poaching in our area, and so he was sort of forced to give them to us. But I think it actually, in this case, it was the sister missionaries who had found them in our area. What were the sister missionaries doing poaching in our area? Everybody was poaching in our area, and we were not getting our numbers there in Poughkeepsie. Hilarious. Dear God. And so, yeah, I feel bad. But knowing that the people to blame are the church, the prophets, who are purposely lying to us, telling us that Joseph Smith was all this bad stuff, witch, and for looking at a rock and a hat, and the holiness to the Lord parchment, and all that stuff, and yet the reality is completely different, because I had to do the research to find out the truth, because the church refuses to tell us the truth. And yeah, now I know they're a criminal organization, and it's frustrating as hell that despite reporting the crimes they've committed against me, let alone to you guys and to others in the United States, others around the world, the government still won't shut them down like they did this group. You know, why is it that the FLDS Church and the other branch-offs from Brigham Young, they're getting busted by the law, this group gets busted, the other cult groups get busted, and yet the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is a massive organization of criminality, is still getting away with it? I mean, dear God. I mean, all I did was pursue finding out if Joseph Smith was a translator. That was my crime. And I went to the church saying, hey, Joseph Smith is a translator. This is awesome. Give me other stuff to translate. You know, the Pele El. Everybody thinks that's weird and wrong. It's mouth to God. Dear God, how hard is this? Who do we have in the church that screws up Hebrew so much that would tell Nelson, oh, it's let God prevail? Has Nelson excommunicated them? Is there word in the underground at BYU of excommunications of those who know Hebrew? Just either that, or he just outright lied and claimed it was Hebrew scholars to pass the book to, when there are none. But the whole concept of being forced to pay tithing, that's part of the racket. I call it a protection racket, because we all know what tithing is called. Everybody, as a little child into our old adult age, right? It's called fire insurance for the latter days that shall burn as an oven, from Malachi, because that's where, will a man rob God, yet ye have robbed me. And then the next chapter talks about the day that shall burn as an oven. And it's the latter days. Next year, 2023, is the bicentennial year of Joseph Smith talking about the day that shall burn as an oven. And they didn't talk about it at all at conference. I did the pre-videos saying, what are they going to do? They're in a conundrum. I'm exposing it. I'm exposing the true meaning of what Joseph Smith was doing there. Because when you understand that it's Nephi and it's Egyptian gold plates, there's a whole different understanding than Moroni that's all over our temples and golden plates, as apologists keep pushing away from what the truth is. But yeah, this is all part of the con. And the other video that I just did today that nobody wants to watch, with the American flag and the British flag. I mean, guys, it's blatantly obvious that everybody knows about it. Everybody is symbolizing it. And I figured out the flag symbols through Islam and communism, because theirs is the crescent moon, as they claim it is. It's actually the solar eclipse that occurred in Russia on 8 April 4 CE, and thus why it's connected to the cross that the Brits and America has, the 13 bars, red stripes, the Confederates, and then even the Christian cross, but and the Paleo-Hebrew Tau, which is the last letter of the alphabet, all crosses because of the solar eclipses over America. Everybody knows it. And they're either the enemy seeking to prevent the prophecies of the Bible from occurring. And I'm concerned because the Smiths obviously knew it, and they were the good guys trying to warn us of the bad guys. But are there any good guys left? And I don't think there are, because if they did, they'd know about me, and they would not allow this. Nonetheless, here I am. And so I don't think there's any of the York Rites Knights Templar who are aware of this. You're going, Knights Templar? What? York Rites. Egyptian gold plates. The bloodline. Thus the red line. That's why they were symbolizing it this way. But yeah, this is why the church is a criminal organization, is because they're preventing the Jewish Christ of Joseph Smith from happening. They're replacing him with Jesus, just like the British flag is doing. Because the Brits, they want a monarchy. They're the kingmen. Hello? The Book of Mormon is the treasure map. It's not on the back of the Declaration of Independence. The Book of Mormon is the treasure map. And it came from treasure itself, the Egyptian gold plates. Hilarious. These guys are awesome. But nobody sees it. Dan Brown didn't see it coming to Utah. So, yeah, he went and did the book on Washington instead. Washington, D.C. But, yeah, it's just... what a journey this has been in my life. To abandoning Leanne Murdoch at Rick's and thus settling for Stephanie resulted in my going up to the University of Lethbridge, where Nelson's transportation problems kept him from going. I'm referring to other videos more recently, in case you didn't know. But yeah, that's where I learned biblical Hebrew. And that set in motion where I am today. Because the church is bad. You know? But Mormons will blame me. Wire Room? Really? Bruce Willis came out with the Wire Room. Yeah, sure enough. Huh. That was actually pretty decent. I make sure to buy all of Bruce Willis's new releases straight to DVD to help him with his medical bills. That's why he's doing it. He did a whole bunch of movies right before he retired because of the brain problem that he has, and is getting medical help for, which is why he had to retire. So I'm helping him out, thanking him for his service to the entertainment industry. Yippee-ki-yay. So, but yeah, I see things as a result. Just like in Chinese, watching Kung Fu Season 2, seeing the episode that I did that you don't watch and you didn't care. I can now see the Chinese characters, and all she had to do was say, this is the word for resurrection, and I saw it. I saw how it's resurrection. It was wild. And because it's not a phonetic language, even though they've put phonemes for each of the characters in Chinese, it originated as a picture language, and so I can see the meaning of the words. It's just wild. But yeah, it's just one of those cool things. But all because I wanted to find out if Joseph Smith was a translator. And so, ex-Mormons, you are going down the wrong path. You let the church fool you. Because they're a criminal operation, not just a cult group. They're a cult, but none of the prophets from Brigham Young on claim to visit the dead and talk with them and use rocks in a hat and anything like that. You notice that? You know, instead they blame Joseph Smith for all of that. And, oh, he's a true prophet of God. Had a guy testify to me as his comment. That's a hate comment, guys. You're replacing Joseph Smith's Christ by saying, you know, Jesus Christ lives and that Joseph is Jesus' prophet. That's a hate crime. You're anti-Semitic. You got to stop it. And you won't, because the church has brainwashed you, like Allison Mack. Because she didn't say it for some reason. And you from the outside, you don't know how such people could be so gullible and suckered into this and commit such horrible crimes against other human beings until you've actually lived it yourself. And thus, as Mormons, we have lived it. And it just takes someone to say, racketeering is a type of organized crime in which perpetrators set up a coercive, fraudulent, extraordinary, or otherwise illegal coordinated scheme or operation, a racket, to repeatedly or consistently collect a profit. And so that's a protection racket, because the church promises protection with their repeated and consistent collection of tithing. And we're not getting that, are we? It's the latter days, day of the burning, and you're not being protected. And he keeps telling you, trust in Jesus. Trust in Jesus. Jesus will heal you. And YouTube won't ban the video. And they mock me with it. They did. I did the video, again, illustrating that YouTube purposely would not take down that video for community guidelines violations, as they shut down my channel. And instead, I start seeing it on my feed after that. Well, Mormons are pure evil. And my stalker, I mean, dear God. I mean, seriously, you are watching my channel every day for when I put up a new video so that you can put a thumbs down? I mean, how twisted are you? How bored are you with your life that you have to follow me, to stalk me, to make sure that every single video gets a thumbs down? Every single one. I'm able to find out your sleep patterns. When you go to bed at night, when you wake up in the morning, I'm able to figure this out because of your pattern of criminality. I mean, dear God, this is what the church has turned this guy into. This guy is twisted and warped because the church made him that way. And it's just sickening that the church is this corrupt. And it's sad that Mormons can't see what is blatantly obvious, what is carved in stone on the keystone for the Salt Lake Temple. And dear God, and I get Mormons, like I said, who say, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I pray for your soul that you'll not be such a hater. Dear God. And it's women, not just men. Women on sex trafficking videos. Oh, I feel so sorry for you. You do not understand. You're just like Allison Mack. Exactly like her. And you don't see it. And ex-Mormons, I mean, Exmo Lex, when she was, oh my God, I did the video exposing it with John DeLynn, her interview. Oh my God. Because John DeLynn's a psychologist. He knows how to groom. He played her to a T and used her for that end. And she walked right into his trap. And I got hate comments from people who love Exmo Lex. Oh, you meanie. Oh, you leave her alone. John DeLynn's a good man. Yeah, well, did you notice that I call his partner in his business his mistress? She's been groomed. And I don't know if they're having sex on the side. I don't care. I don't care about his life. I just worry about you guys getting fooled by him. He is spreading the lies. He knows nothing of church history except what the incorrect information has told him. And that's that incorrect information that keeps getting circulated. And yes, there are a lot of entertaining ex-Mormons. Zelf on the Shelf, very entertaining stuff. Exmo Lex is great, entertaining. They got a lot better situation. They don't have this environment. But even Thinker of Thoughts and New Name Noah. New Name Noah only records things. I don't think he actually does any talking himself. I don't. It's been a while. But yeah. Then you got the rising generation of critics. I had one guy who was a critic, and he came across one of my videos, and he thought I was supporting the church. And so, yeah, I was able to have a dialogue with him. You know, I understood where he was coming from, so I didn't report his comment, as I understood what he was mocking. It wasn't me he was mocking, he just didn't understand me. But yeah, I let him know I'm a critic. It's okay, you can breathe. But he was starting up his own YouTube channel to repeat all the information that's already been out there, because he thought it was all new. And so I helped explain to him some things, and he realized, oh crap, there's a whole lot of stuff that's been misinformed to us. And I haven't heard from him since, but at least we left on good terms. There are others who try to understand, and I had one person who asked me all these questions, and at the end of all the questions he said I was delusional. He just strung me along, thinking that he was going to outsmart me or something. But yeah, you guys, you got to do the research. If you don't do the research, you're never going to understand me, I guess. What's the British flag doing on there, Travis? An Egyptian? What is that? They're naked. Oh, that's evil. That's porn. And you guys have no clue. The community guidelines are illegal. They're a violation of the First Amendment. But they keep doing it because the federal government won't step in and stop them. I've reported them to the government, but I'm sure others have complained as well. But yeah, I see the suffering that YouTube causes because they're letting their religious morality dictate how they want their channel to be run, and the alt-right religious minority are scaring YouTube into being that way, to ban things when they know how to do it right. They just choose not to. They can program it to make it good for everybody, and so that little kids aren't on the same channel with adults. You know, that's, they've already separated us, and they just make things complicated on purpose. And I see that, you know, because some certain videos I can't even find anymore because they're buried too down far in my thousands of video listing. Well, anyway, you just look for the patterns, guys, and you can't just claim that even though it's the exact same match that they're not the same. No, it's not. No, it's God's way. Really? Yeah, God is the crime boss, and so it's okay. Yeah, it's not like other religious leaders have tried that one.